So I just finished Super Fancy Pants Adventure. Man, this one this one really pushed those old nostalgia buttons for me. I mean, goddamn. For those of you who don't know, the Fancy Pants Adventure franchise series, whatever, they were some old Flash games, and they were really fun. They had this high focus on flow in your platforming, where it's a lot of rolling landscapes that you can run along, and if you get enough speed, you can run up them and along overhangs and whatnot. And your physics will carry you past the edge of the ledge if you keep going that far. And it feels really good. It flows very nicely. And I played quite a lot of the first of these games as a child. The second, third, and fourth kind of passed me on by because I didn't have internet access for a while there. But yeah, I played a hell of a lot of Fancy Pants Adventure World 1. And then I just kind of forgot about the series for a while, like tends to happen with these sorts of, find it on the internet and then lose internet for a while kind of situations. But, but a couple months ago, I learned that there was another Fancy Pants Adventure game in the works. Super Fancy Pants Adventure is releasing on Steam at a price point of $10, and that it was releasing literally 2 days after I heard about it. So I got hype, and I bought it day one. Finished it day one, and it's fucking great. Just like the old ones, it flows fantastically. It's got some new mechanics which really just serve to improve the flow. Most notably, you got a pen now, and you can use the pen to there are certain areas where there's like a paper background behind you, or maybe it's like some kind of fabric or something. The point is there's like an obvious recognizable background, and if you hold I want to say it was the jump button, you hold a button and you'll surf on the pen along that background, leaving like a line, an ink trail behind you. And the way that the surfing works is it's kind of almost a little bit similar to the flying in Super Mario World, except less less obtuse. It controls in a way that makes more intuitive sense. But the point is, it's this very swooping kind of thing where if you wanna gain height, you gotta dive down first and then use the momentum from the dive down to swoop your way back up. And you're leaving you're leaving a line behind you the whole time. It looks and feels great. There are also a few other new mechanics which are, also used pretty well, but none of them, I don't think any of them are really as interesting and as cool as this pen surfing mechanic. I think that mechanic is the highlight of the new stuff added to the game. Aside from that, you got some combat, which works well enough. You swing your sword and you do the combos and you jump on the dudes and maybe you shoot them after a while once you've got that ability. It all functions. I wouldn't say that the combat is the draw here. It's still very much the platforming and the way that it just fluidly moves along, but the combat works. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got this really charming hand-drawn aesthetic where your dude is like a stick figure, but he's got these huge ass fucking baggy pants on, which you can change the colors of. You can unlock different pants colors and whatnot. And he's got this kind of big overdone hair which flaps in the breeze and has physics applied to it. Only it's not actually hair physics. It's all of that is it's a completely hand-drawn game. All of the hair physics are just different pre-baked animations being applied to it, and it looks really good. The game also runs at 60 FPS consistently. I never had any frame rate hitches. So yeah, I'm sure that it took a hot minute to draw the animations for this game. I mean, it doesn't even have that many animations. It's not like Cuphead or something. But even with the smaller scale of this project, I'm sure it still took a long damn time to draw all the sprite work that was necessary and whatnot. And it looks really good as a result. Yeah, and it's a very charming looking game. It's all got this doodling in your notebook kind of aesthetic to it, which is really fun and appealing and just looks really nice. Everything's adorable. You have these spider dudes that just kind of crawl their way around, and when you jump on them, they wrap their legs around themselves and bunch up into a ball and get all scared. And it's super cute. It's super fun. Very, very good game to play. The final boss is really cool. I'm not gonna I don't know. I don't know if spoilers really apply in this case, because I don't think that many people were like hoping to be super surprised by this game. But whatever, I'm not gonna spoil the final boss. It's very cool. You should check it out to see what the cool final boss is. There's also lots of bonus stages all over the place. You'll find these doors around the different levels, which will take you into little challenge dimensions where you just got a challenge to overcome, and you gotta do it, and you gotta figure out how to do the thing. And these are usually the hardest parts of the game, you know, because they're optional, so they can be as hard as you want them to be. So they require a lot of finesse and are a lot of fun to pull through. And each time you beat one, you unlock either a new hat to wear or a new color for your pants to be, and that's very cool. You know, it's nice to have cosmetic options available, and they all look nice and cool, and you know, everyone has like a reason why you would want it. They've all got a unique flavor to them, which is very nice. Yeah, overall, it's a really fun game. A lot of fun. Like, it's a deal where just existing in this game and moving from place to place feels good because of how well done the physics are, right? Which isn't super common. Like, usually the satisfaction with the game comes from somewhere other than just existing in it and moving around. But no, this game is just like instantly fun once you boot it up and start moving. It's great. The only problem that I can really find with the game is that it is pretty fucking short. I beat it in like 2 hours on day one. That said, I didn't 100% it. There's still extra bonus content that I can come back to and finish, but even if I were to do that, I'm gonna take a guess and say that it probably wouldn't inflate my playtime to anything more than maybe 4 or 5 hours, and that's being kind of generous. So there's not a whole lot of content here, which is less than ideal. Frankly, I got to the end of this game and I was like, oh, what? That's it? Man, I wanted more. But that is actually my only complaint, is just by the end of it, I didn't feel like I was done with the game. You know, I felt like I wanted more, and apparently more is coming. I don't know whether that's in the form of a sequel or more content being added to this one, but either way, I'm looking forward to that more content. I think it's a great game, and I think that it left me wanting more is one of the best criticisms that a game can have. You know, so and given the price point of just $10, I don't think that it's like a terrible value for your money for it to be this short. You know, it's cheap enough that I would say that it is still absolutely worth picking up. Yeah, overall, I am going to give this game on my Rosen meter here a 9 out of 10.
Fantastic!
This game is just fucking great. I love it, and I'm sure that some of that love is kind of shit. I just made a noise with these two bottle caps here. Anyway, I love it, and I'm sure that while some of that love is more than likely due to just the sheer nostalgia factor of holy shit, a new Fancy Pants game after having not played one in 10 years, that doesn't change the fact that it is that, like, you can look at the game and just see why it is. See why it is appealing and what is good about it. Like, it's not one of those cases of I like an obviously terrible game because of nostalgia. It's nostalgia is bolstering my enjoyment of a game which is already good, and I highly recommend it. So I just finished Super Fancy Pants Adventure.